Hi guys, welcome to the Thinking Crypto channel. We have over 40,000 subscribers. We cover the crypto news and interview many of the folks who are building and investing in the asset class. I have some great interviews coming up for you guys. I will be interviewing the Director of Business Development at Binance US. We're going to talk about the latest developments there. I'm in contact with the folks at Brave to get an interview with Brendan Eek, who is the CEO and co-founder of Brave and Basic Attention Token, and also Isaiah Jackson, who's the author of Bitcoin and Black America. So a lot of great interviews lined up, and I'm trying to bring quality content to you guys. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button. Guys, big news around XRP. Ripple is looking to expand its ODL services, Ripple ODL, On-Demand Liquidity, which leverages XRP, to Brazil, and this is coming very soon. So according to Ripple head of global banking Marjan Delatinne, the company's on-demand liquidity may soon be available in Brazil. So Ripple is looking to build different corridors, or set up different corridors, I should say, where it's going to leverage XRP to be that bridge asset between the different currencies. And we're seeing they are starting to make traction, and they're expanding globally. Now, we heard a few weeks back that Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse had a closed door meeting with Brazil's central bank. So now we have confirmation they're opening up there. And this shows that Ripple is in contact with the central banks and commercial banks and payment providers. They are meeting with all these folks, and we know if they've been working with the IMF. That is why I'm bullish on XRP. I hold Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I hold Ethereum. I'm bullish on Ethereum, but I'm bullish on XRP as well, because I'm looking at what's going to make me or has the potential to make me the most return on my investment. And I believe there are going to be winners in the market. There's going to be lots of losers, but I'm looking at the facts, right? What has lasting potential? What is solving a real world problem? So let me give you some more details around this. In an interview posted to the Future of Finance YouTube channel on June 8th, Ripple head of global banking Marjan Delatinne said the crypto firm was working on the development of a cross-border payment system for Brazil. When explaining Ripple's on-demand liquidity, ODL, to moderator Dominic Hobson, Delatinne said the firm was planning to extend its services to exotic corridors, naming countries like the Philippines and Brazil as markets where you don't necessarily want to keep liquidity and you want to really move funds when you need it. 3 Brazilian firms, Santander, Bradesco, and Banco Rendimento, all currently use Ripple's blockchain-based financial services network RippleNet for payments. However, Delatinne explained how ODL could be utilized with the XRP token as a bridge between two fiat currencies for cross-border transactions. So there you have it, right? Ripple ODL leverages XRP, and it serves as that bridge asset to help gain instant settlement, so you don't have to have nostro vostro accounts sitting around the globe where you have funds, you have a pool of money that's just sitting there dormant, right? And you can get instant settlement, and that's the great part of what Ripple is bringing to the market versus the current Swift system, which is not instant settlement, and Ripple's solution is much faster, right? You can have the transaction done in a couple of minutes because XRP moves in 3 to 5 seconds. So this is great news if you hold XRP. I hold XRP, as I mentioned, and I'm bullish on it. And we are waiting to see Ripple set up more corridors. And a big part of that, guys, and I've said it many times on this channel, is regulatory clarity. Now, someone tweeted today about or showing a clip, Brad Garlinghouse saying, hey, the US has given clarity around Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they haven't for XRP, the third ranked crypto. Now, I know Tether has surpassed XRP at this point, but Tether is a stable coin. I don't consider it a crypto in a sense of a utility token or that, whatever it is. That's just my opinion. But let me play it for you so you can hear directly from the horse's mouth here.
Is going to derive from its utility. And I do, as you described, I don't try to think about this on a 3-day, 3-week, or 3 months. I think over the long term. Look, I think it's lagged maybe because, in part, the U.S. government has provided clarity about Bitcoin. They've provided clarity about Ether, but then they've remained silent about the third, most valued digital asset in XRP. I think regulators have a hard problem. These are new technologies, and I think there's work to be done there, but I think globally it's been more positive, right? The UK government has been clear around their designation that XRP is not a security, more of a utility token. The Japanese government has been clear, the Singaporean government. So, look, I think the macro.
So he highlights, a few countries that have been provided regulatory clarity. So they don't have an issue in Europe, they don't have an issue in Japan, Singapore, and so forth. Obviously, the U.S. is where they're based. They would love to get clarity here. And, like he said, they've given clarity to CFTC on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but what about XRP? What about the other tokens, right? So there's still a lot we're waiting on. I think there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines. I think there's a lot more Ripple wants to do around ODL and XRP, but they can't at this point. It's just because some of the clients they work with probably don't want to take the risk, and I wouldn't want to do that either, right? If I'm a bank and I'm in the United States, there's things I don't want to touch. So until we get that regulatory clarity, and Steve Mnuchin said at the beginning of the year they were coming, but let's see what happens. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, guys, that we can see it this year and we can get this thing going. So I'm still very bullish on XRP, and this was a video that's not from recent. It was like a year ago, and he was on Fox Business, but it's pretty clear what he's saying here. And people may be wondering, hey, what the hell is going on? Why is there not new quarters? Why is this thing not moving so slow? It's because lack of regulatory clarity here in the United States, and that's based on the facts, right? So I'm excited to see what comes out of this Brazil launch of this corridor, and how many different currencies and so forth they're going to operate with, and into which markets. So we know about Brazil, but I'm talking about like the outbound, to US, to I don't know, whatever country, other countries are out there, and then we can see the growth from there. Now, moving ahead, guys. We got another potential Bitcoin ETF coming in, but we know the SEC has been denying them left and right. But let's see if, maybe the 5th time, the 10th time is going to yield some good results. So Wilshire Phoenix files a registration statement for publicly traded Bitcoin fund. Now, why am I highlighting this? Because we've seen a lot of rejections. It shows how hungry these institutional investors and financial firms are for a Bitcoin ETF. So they are on board, guys. We know institutional investors have been buying up like crazy, a lot of OTC, but they're still trying to get these financial products going. So this is why I hold Bitcoin in my portfolio. After facing a rejection of its proposed exchange-traded product, ETP, in February, investment firm Wilshire Phoenix has filed a proposal for a publicly traded fund with the Securities Exchange Commission, the SEC. The firm filed an S1 registration statement, Bitcoin Commodity Trust, dated June 12th, very recent. Wilshire Phoenix previously sought approval for a Bitcoin ETP that hedged Bitcoin against U.S. Treasury bills. This approach was a response to the volatility concerns cited in other SEC denials of crypto ETPs, the firm said last year at the time of filing. That attempt was denied in March of this year when the SEC rejected the last remaining Bitcoin ETP proposal. So I think one of the things that's also holding back the SEC from approving this is regulatory clarity. Once again, the Mnuchin and Trump and these guys got to get going, right? Because I think the folks at the SEC don't want to touch this until there's some sort of clarity. So there's a lot of things being held up here, and I'm hoping the U.S. can move forward because it's also going to create jobs. It's going to be great for the economy. But great to see, once again, the demand from the institutional firms they are on board, man. They are on board with this asset class. They want to set up their financial products. They're buying the cryptos themselves. They're investing in the different companies and infrastructure of the market. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, this is an interesting survey results here. Bitcoin is becoming more trustworthy than big banks, says survey. The number of people who trust Bitcoin over big banks has shot up by 29% over the last 3 years, while millennials are flocking to Bitcoin. This is not a surprise. We've been seeing this sentiment has been changing. One of the things I like to look at on this channel is not just price action or technical analysis, but what is happening in the real world. And we are seeing coverage of Bitcoin in mainstream news. We are seeing TV shows and books and all kinds of things now mentioning cryptocurrencies, mentioning Bitcoin. And you guys may have seen my interview with Ben Mesrick, who wrote the book Bitcoin Billionaires, he wrote a few episodes for the Billions TV show on Showtime talking about Bitcoin. And guess what? The book talks about the Winklevoss twins. The book is now going to be adapted for a movie. So you're going to see Bitcoin and crypto in movies. You guys know where this is headed. Only upwards. And more education, more exposure, more knowledge about the asset class, and you're going to see more people get in. Now, you couple that with the money printing and the recession and the 2008 type crashes again and all these things, and in the era of vast transparency because of the internet, right? They can no longer hide behind some sort of veil or something, right? Because now there's cell phones, there's people who are hacking things, and you're getting information that we never seen information like this before. So banks, celebrities, politicians, everybody's getting exposed. So people now understand, right? Hey, what the hell is going on with these banks? What are they doing? What's all the printing? What's the Fed doing, right? And they understand it now much better than they have years ago. The masses that I'm talking about. So this is all pushing people towards the new asset class, and of course Bitcoin leads that. So here's it was conducted by the Tokenist, and here's a chart just showing just how the contrast between 2017 and 2020. So they did this in 2017, and you'll notice that how much lower the results were. But now the 2020, look how that jumped. Prefer to own $1,000 of Bitcoin over $1,000 of government bonds. Yeah, I would want to own Bitcoin right now versus government bonds if you see what the hell is going on, right? And you just see the results. Prefer to own $1,000 of Bitcoin over $1,000 of real estate. Very, very interesting, guys. And the results speak for themselves. So we are seeing, once again, the growth and maturation of this asset class. And I believe, once again, there's going to be multiple winners. I'm not in any maximalist camp. I believe Bitcoin is going to do really well. It's going to lead the market. It is leading the market at this point, and that is why I have it in my portfolio. I believe in XRP long term. I believe in Ethereum as a smart contract platform. I believe in the basic attention token, right? Tezos as another smart contract platform. You guys have seen my interviews, and I'm hearing directly from the people who are building a lot of these projects, investing. So that's why I try to bring you guys these interviews so you can hear directly from the horse's mouth. It's not some random guy on Twitter or YouTube telling you stuff. It is, here are the facts. Now and consider them, weigh your decisions from there, right? So guys, what do you think about this? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up. Please please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you all later.